We're going to start. This will be the start of a recording. Hey everybody, it's Vaginal Fantasy time again. It's number 3. Despite some mishaps that only live viewers have seen, we are finally actually starting this program. With us today are the regular suspects, Bonnie Burton.
Yay!
And her squirrel.
Yes, the squirrel.
Yes, thank you. Kyla of the Golden Locks.
She is a cabana boy or intern. I'm not sure what.
I'm not sure. That's a handy thing to have. I wish I had a cabana of intern. And Veronica Belmont.
Should I swig from my bottle again?
Yeah,
I feel like that was too good to not do it.
Sarah will swig with you.
Yeah. It's a good, and a lip smack. Yeah, perfect. And me with my tiny ones. Tiny ones.
Itty bitty baby one.
Baby ones.
No, we don't know what's in that bottle. It could be straight up like gasoline or Everclear or
Everclear.
Gasoline.
Absolutely.
Absinthe. I don't know. Nail polish remover.
I like sniffing that stuff, but I don't want to drink it. That and markers. I would, if I were going to be a drug person, I would sniff things.
I think the word you're going for is huffing.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Huffing. Yeah, I think you're a huffer.
I did an episode of Strong Medicine early in my acting career where I was a cough syrup drinker. That's my torrid past. That's as dirty as it gets.
Did you method that? Did you method that out? Like
No.
you really got into the character?
I should have. No, I didn't. It was Lifetime.
When I was sick, I used to mix NyQuil and whiskey in a shot.
Wow.
It's hardcore, but it works.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm not a doctor.
Speaking of sensations, let's talk about Slaved Sensation. Did you get that transition?
That was well done.
Was it pro?
Well done.
As always, Bonnie Burton is the only one that has a paper book.
That's because paper's not dead.
It's not hip, but the best thing about this book is the cover, and one of the reasons why we picked it. And if you just back it up a little bit, we actually had somebody on the forums who...
I'll back it up.
Oh, back it up.
Back that thing up.
Anyway, a guy, one of our, I think it was Kent. Oh, why is it mauve and misty?
Why not?
Sensational.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
know,
flowers are supposed to look like.
why is it that all these book covers never really seem to fit very well with what's actually happening in the story? Like, why is he not a panther?
Fits to me.
He's a pink panther.
Oh, I like that better.
Ding.
And is that's not what I pictured him looking like at all either.
I thought he was pretty hot.
No, let me look at that. Let's look at a survey of the cover and see how close to Lucas this guy looks.
No. You don't want Lucas. He's got long hair and he probably looks like Steve Perry from Journey. You want this guy.
That guy's short and well. I kind of like his skull shape. He has an attractive skull shape.
He's got a Keanu Reeves face.
He has pointy ears.
Jawline, I like that.
Cute.
What's wrong with pointy ears, Veronica? You have an elf problem?
As an elf pointed ear person, also,
Such an elfist.
we don't date our own kind.
Elf racist. So
Elfist.
I was worried.
What about Fenris from Dragon Age?
Who do I look like? Ashley from Mass Effect?
I don't get that joke.
No, she's a space racist.
I didn't get Ashley in my Mass Effect 3. I don't know if I picked the wrong thing. I didn't play 1, so I didn't get to import that relationship.
Gotcha.
She's
a terrible person.
That I have 2 wine glasses. So I have a regular wine glass.
Uh-huh.
I look better already. And
I like the angle.
this is about shapeshifters. I have my Incredible Hulk glass.
Yeah.
Because he is the cutest of the shapeshifters in my book.
Really?
Is he really?
Well, it depends which movie you're going with. I don't know.
I don't think he's hot. I'm going to say definitively I can be like, if there was a Hulk Vaginal Fantasy book, would you read it? Would it be?
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
No, because he doesn't get hotter when he
gets bigger when he's angry.
But it's not good big.
Bigger
No.
when he's angry.
It's not good big.
Also green.
Boy big.
Bigger.
I see what you did there.
Oh, by the way, somebody during Vaginal Fantasy number 2, all these are archived in on my YouTube channel, and someone flagged us as inappropriate. So for about 3 weeks, nobody could watch the video who was under 18, which actually increased our numbers a lot.
Well, there goes my dating pool.
Porn. YouTube porn.
How are the kids going to learn? Seriously.
They're not going to learn from this.
We should be sponsored by, like, Planned Parenthood or something.
Oh, we should be sponsored by Go Girl.
I don't know.
What? Whoa, what is that?
The Go Girl. It's a little device that enables you to pee standing up.
But why? Why
Wait,
can't we just make
For
guys
independence.
down?
For hiking and independence and skiing and other things they list on this little
independence?
tube.
Why would you
And
need that for hiking?
and musical concerts and kayaking apparently.
Ew!
And
Why
rock
not to
concerts.
go to a concert with you?
It is not. This one, they sent this to me to test out sometime.
Does
Are
it
you
work?
testing it now?
Would you like to see it unfurled?
Are you testing
Yeah,
it right
go
now?
ahead.
No, I'm not testing it. I'm sitting. Right, clearly. Hold on.
She's using it
I
now.
have it by my desk, chat room, because I wanted to show it off on the program today. Why do
We
you think
have
I
an
it?
IRC
Because I can't
channel.
leave my chat so
I
much.
think it
that
should be on Sword and Laser
Yeah.
video.
The IRC, just for anybody who wants to know, is niven.freenode.net, and we'll be taking a lot of comments from that chat room as well as on Twitter with the hashtag for people who are interested in joining in. And what in the hell is that? I have to fix the camera on this.
If you're going to show that, I'm showing my squirrel again.
What? What?
What would you rather look at, audience? That
Guys, that is so disturbing. It's a vagina funnel.
And they also include a little bit of toilet paper in the tube.
Ew.
Why?
And a little baggie for wrapping
Ew.
it up after you're done with it for cleanliness.
What? Wait,
Yeah.
wrapping up the... I thought
Yeah.
it was for the pee, like in case you needed it as a sample.
You have solid pee.
They're not sponsoring the show, but I just wanted to point this out because I thought you guys would get a kick out of it.
It's making me drink more tiny wine, that's for sure.
More tiny wine. No, it's not cardboard. It's like plasticky.
So it's
Plasticky.
reusable. That's,
Yeah, it's reusable. You're supposed to
environmentally
rinse it
efficient.
out. Yes. So you can like pee in snow and stuff and write your name like you've always wanted
I have
to.
heard, though, that in
I
some
want-
writers' rooms, guys pee in jars.
I've heard that also.
And,
That was in Tina Fey's
Brown-
book, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, they did an episode of 30 Rock on it, and it was actually, true. When you read Bossy Pants, not to venture into a different book, but when you read that, you realize a lot of those 30 Rocks are actually, that really did happen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was
So-
kind of her life for a really, really long
Yeah.
time, so I'm not surprised that some of that funnels out. Now I've got funnel in my head.
But there is
Great,
no
awesome.
peeing in jars in this book.
I'm so disturbed by all the props in everybody's hand right now, including my own pizza. So,
All right, should we talk about the book then?
Yeah.
So, let's just get one thing straight. So I picked this book because a lot of people complained that the first two books were not racy enough.
That
or
was me.
smutty enough.
I complained.
And so I get on the forum, and if you check our Goodreads forum, that's where we draw a lot of comments from and ideas from to chat about. People are complaining about this wasn't racy enough. And I'm like, what more do you want, people?
I have to agree, there's only, 4 chapters full of sex?
What do you need more? Kyla, what's
didn't
going
think
on?
I didn't think it was smutty enough myself, honestly.
Agreed.
I expected more smutty.
Yeah.
There is explicit,
No.
there's explicit stuff in there.
Not
What?
explicit enough.
There was some face sexing, but that was, that was about it.
Let's put it this way, when your eyes turn into rainbows at the end, I want a bit more bang for my Jaguar Sex Panther buck, so...
I thought it was a little bit creepy how he turned into an animal and she was still kind of into him.
No, he only did that once.
And she was only petting him.
No,
Yeah,
she
there's
was
only
petting him.
one.
It wasn't in a weird way.
There was no sex.
They did not describe it as heavy petting.
No, heavy petting. Okay, so let's go down the line and just talk about our kind of point of view. So clearly about just the whole book in general, and then we'll get into more specific topics. But Bonnie, you're first up. What in your, you're not a big romance reader, so I'm interested to hear your perspective on the book.
I actually liked the book quite a bit, and some of the sex scenes were a little over the top with the, I won't go into explicit detail, but I will tell you right off the bat, in case you're watching and you don't want to actually read the whole book, the sex parts are on page 67 through 71, 86 through 92, 219 through 231, which was a nice chapter, and 240 through 242. So, and I bookmarked those. And I reread some, which is a good testament to some. And I texted a couple of snapshots of the pages to an ex-boyfriend.
Oh.
For what purpose?
Little flirtation there, and to get him to read a book once in a while.
Why would you get him to come back if he's an ex?
Exes are for a reason, you know. But anyway, so I did actually like the book. There were certain points my feminist side was like, hello, I don't really like this whole you're mine thing, and sit on my lap so I can sniff you and show the rest of the pack that you belong to me. And there were some moments where I'm like, I would have slapped the changeling right out of Lucas if he said stuff to me like that. So there were moments where I'm like, this is not. I would be pretty much pissed off. But the dream sequences are hot. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen Fright Night 2, but when I first saw that, when the vampire is seducing the guy through dreams, I was like, oh,
I thought that was one of my favorite, like, racy scenes.
It's like a shy girl's way to being naughty, which I thought was kind of cool. So I'm down with the dream sequences, which were those first batches of pages that I mentioned earlier. But yeah, there were moments where I'm like, this seems kind of weird. The fact that he was always playing with her hair, the fact that she was always sitting on his lap, the fact that everyone kisses on the mouth. It was like, I don't know how unhygienic this pack is. And I was just like, this is not cool. And
I was thinking that too. I was thinking herpes is everywhere.
I know. I was like, if there's an STD, this whole pack is just full of STDs. I don't know. I was just like, there are certain moments where I'm like, that whole pack mentality seemed a little too bro-y. I don't know. I don't know. But that's my thoughts.
Okay. Kyla?
Yes.
What was your opinion of the book? By the way, your hair is fabulous.
Yeah, fabulous
Oh,
hair.
so good.
If
so
I was
good.
Lucas, I would totally play with your hair right now.
I bet it smells really good, too. Does it smell good?
Thank you. I do like having it played with.
Whoa!
Wow. Who is that?
Can I get a secret hand to do what I want?
Who is that?
It just comes from. It's a part of the apartment. It came with the
Oh, okay.
That is my intern. So
your vaginal fantasy intern. Okay.
Intern Megan. So okay. So I think the problem is that I set the bar like at the Cressley Cole smut. I think is what happened, and I think that because of that, everything else is not sexy enough.
Well, Laura Lee, if you want something that literally I can't even get through because I'm too embarrassed, that lady, no, I mean, that is crazy.
Really?
That's
Let me write this down.
Yeah, I'm writing it down.
No, I'm not saying it's not good, and some of it's creepy because like one of them is like there's like a brother who's like watching when another brother and a girl are. It's just to me, it was creepy.
Back up. So what is this creepy, smutty book you're talking about? Write it down.
Laura Lee writes all these kind of shapeshifter, but listen, to me that's like the raciest thing I've ever read, and I only read one because I was like, this is too much for me. So maybe I'm just like really innocent. And we had a lot of comments on Goodreads about people who've never read romance, and they were blushing the whole time during this book. So.
I'm sorry, but have none of you, I mean, because you all took women's studies classes where Story of O, I'm sure, was on the list, no?
No.
Oh. Yeah, you guys should read Story of O. And any Marquita Assad.
Okay, well, let's get back to your Cressley Cole. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No. It's fine, Felicia. No. So I unfortunately, I think that I set that as like the smut bar, and then everything below it. Well, that and Eloisa James, which is not smutty or rapey at all, but the sex is happening constantly. It's like it's a really good build-up throughout the thing, and it's happening every 3 pages or something. And so I think that because of that, I was a little disappointed in that part. I liked the idea of. I think that the idea of that whole sci culture was like really interesting. I think it had an interesting world that it was building, But overall, like I honestly, one night I just went through and looked. I hadn't even read the book yet. I just went through and looked for the sex parts.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
This is why I love you.
Okay. All right. No, I got you. Okay, Veronica, what did you think?
All right, so I feel kind of bad because I know the writer has gotten in touch with us on Twitter and maybe is watching right now, but I had a big problem with the level of writing in the book. I found it to be very distracting. It just seemed very. I I didn't like it. I didn't love it. I thought the racy scenes, I thought they were fun, and they did not come quite as quickly and often as I expected them to.
Wink, wink. What?
And there were a lot of cutaways from potential... steamy scenes where they'd be like, oh, and then they went to bed, and then, oop, next chapter. Also, the chapter transitions were very strange. It was like suddenly they decided, okay, time for a new chapter in the middle of this conversation.
Yeah.
So, and also, I thought that the whole, obviously there's going to be spoilers discussed in this episode, so if you're not done, maybe now is not the time to be listening. But the whole killer phenomena was like, really? You didn't just think it was that one dude that they introduced into the story this whole time? Were they going to introduce any other characters at any point in the book, or just go right to this one obviously creepy, menacing dude? Like, he's the killer at the end. So I found that it was a little predictable. It was like, okay, clearly it's going to be this guy. I thought the sign net was really cool. I thought I would have liked to have learned more about that. But otherwise, I thought it was a little juvenile in the writing department.
Nice. No, that's fair. I mean, listen, we're all here for our opinions, and I mean, to me, I like this author a lot. I started, this was one of the first authors I picked up in the genre, so I didn't read a lot of shapeshifter stuff. And I think, there are like 10 books in the series, and I think the writing does get stronger and more streamlined. And I didn't, in retrospect, like reading it again, I was really irritated about Lucas being really domineering, and I was like, just back off, because I think, sometimes shapeshifters are used as an excuse for men to just dominate women, so they have this unearthly quality. But if the dude was just a plain firefighter, you'd be like, oh no, you did not just grab the back of my neck,
let's talk about, I mean, one of our forum posters mentioned that a really good comparison is another story that has to do with shapeshifting, and that's the Parasol Protectorate by Gail Carriger. And it's similar kinds of characters in a way, but the writing is so good. If it weren't for the sexy scenes, you would never think of it as being a paranormal romance kind of book, but it is. But it could stand alone as a novel on its own without that as well. So I think that's kind of the thing I go by. Can it stand alone without the smutty scenes for me? That's what makes it really intriguing.
I just want to interrupt this before it's taken down. We're trending again on Twitter.
Yes.
Vaginal fantasy.
So cheers.
One guy called us marketing hype. I told him he was boring.
What is marketing hype? What?
Because our show name.
Oh, come on. And I've had a lot of women complain that I'm selling the romance genre with it. I'm just like, I'm just having fun. And
you know what I say to that? You know what I say to that? It's the squirrel playing the world's smallest violin.
Well, the cool thing
Which is amazing considering he's dead.
That on our Goodreads forum, we have a lot of guys reading these books, and I think that's fantastic because...
And couples.
Yeah, couples.
Couples are sharing this book.
Oh, I love this. I love that part.
Yeah, so I feel like we're doing a service to relationships everywhere by introducing romance, smutty romance into their lives.
Well, because, I'm sorry, but, sex scenes shouldn't be taboo or something like you have to just kind of giggle behind. I mean, we're going to giggle behind it, but, I think people should, if they're enjoying them and romance arcs and the way that romance books in general are written, try them out. There are some great authors, there's some really bad authors, and you'll find, the things that you like about it. Just for the record, just to get on record, I think Nalini Singh's Guild Hunter series about angels and vampires and vampire hunters is actually, even better than this series. It was, obviously she's written quite a lot of books since, and as I say, I think, the deeper you go into it, deeper. I think the writing does get better and smoother, and Lucas is definitely not my favorite heroine or hero. My favorite one is the one, you briefly see him in the end. He's the, I can forget his name, it starts with a J. He's the Psy guy who's hiding out with the wolves, and he has a relationship with another character, a shapeshifter woman, and to me, that's my favorite one of the series. So I'm looking at the chat.
Yeah, I found it very interesting that they're all in the same world, but they're different storylines. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, and I just want to say she's on Twitter. So if you want to talk to the author about this, because I actually did. I talked to her over the weekend. I asked her a question. She's on Twitter, just her name. It's just her regular name on Twitter. I asked her if she had envisioned any actors when she writes, because that's always intriguing to me to know if, because Anne Rice used to do that. She would envision actual actors at the time as her characters, and this author said no, he just has these images come to her of what the characters look like, and it's not actors. But I did want to pose that question because I know some of you don't do that. I actually kind of did. I didn't do it with Sasha, but with Lucas, because I didn't really like the description of him, I kind of tweaked it in my brain to be Jack from Revenge.
I don't know that show.
Who is that?
You guys aren't watching Revenge? Oh.
No.
Bonnie, can you screen share a picture of the guy? Because
Yeah,
you can
screen share.
Yeah.
I'll tweet it later because I'm afraid to do anything on this.
All right,
Google
let me
Doc.
let me try to do it. Okay, so
Oh, Veronica's
what's
brave.
his
And
name?
I'm going to be like, submit your comment or questions with a Vaginal Fantasy hashtag because we'll be taking questions from Twitter and from our IRC chat. For the
What's
more
his name
immediate
again, Bonnie?
His character's name is Jack on Revenge. I don't remember his actual name, but he's like, kind of scruffy. And I just do this because I always cast people when I read books. I probably
Really? What about Sasha? Who would you...
Sasha, actually, I don't know if you watch New Girl, but Cece, the model friend from Zoe.
Oh, yes, I see that. Also, if you watch The Good Wife, the Indian girl, because
Yeah.
if you look at the author, she I think she has some Indian heritage herself.
Is
So
this
a
our
lot of the
dude?
heroines.
Yeah, there he is.
Oh, okay.
There are pictures of him.
Okay.
I see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to imagine him with long hair, because then it looks weird. It looks too Chippendale. Blech.
I like this picture.
I do want to pose a question to you guys, though, about the book.
Mm-hmm.
So did it creep anybody else out how much they talked about Lucas's scent on everything?
Oh.
'Cause I'm feeling like,
Yes.
the
Yes.
guy's not shower.
Probably peeing on everything.
Does he? 'Cause I was wondering about that, because like when she was wearing his shirt and he's like, that shirt's mine. And I'm like, is he saying it's mine because there's an AC/DC logo on it, or does it smell like a
No, she was infused. It was like a barbecue. She was like, had like applewood. It was like a Lucas scent.
And I'm wondering, what is does Jaguar scent, does it smell like Sex Panther, like from Anchorman? That kind of-
99%.
Does it smell like musk? Like when like weasels get all musky?
There he is. Oh yeah, he's cute.
Let's go
Look
back
at that
here.
guy.
There he is, yeah.
Yeah. I see that, totally see that.
Yeah. That's just how I am. I cast everything. And I imagine his scent being musky.
But usually they're leathery and or spicy with cloves and or cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
It's always cinnamon, isn't it? Cinnamon
always
and
cinnamon.
dirt. Dirty cinnamon.
I like when they talk about smell, because smell is such a powerful attractor. I think it is probably the most powerful attractor, in my opinion, in terms of, like, if someone smells really good, like that kind of, like, pheromone kind of smell, like, you're into it.
They put pheromones in cologne, right?
They do.
That's what I heard. Guys, I heard that if you're on birth control, that it reverses what pheromones you're attracted to. Has anybody else seen that study?
What?
Yeah.
I've heard about that kind of thing before.
What?
It reverses your... Look it up. It
That
reverses
explains
your
a lot.
pheromones.
I think it changes things. I don't know if it reverses, but it can have the potential to change what
Who
kind
you're
of
attracted
pheromones
to.
you're
Are
attracted
you
to. Yeah.
serious? I could have been dating someone normal this whole time. So I've been on birth control since I was 16, and I've been dating nothing but musicians and actors, and just,
Well,
are you kidding me? I could have been dating someone with a job.
So as far as shapeshifter lore, let's talk a little bit about shapeshifter lore. Kyla, have you read a lot of other, you mentioned Kresley Cole, I think that's more vampires. Like, what other series have you read besides the Parasol Protectorate that has werewolves? Can you think of any other and kind of compare how people use the shapeshifters?
I actually haven't read any series with shapeshifters, but so I mean, all I can think about is True Blood.
I'll see.
Yeah, which actually I think is pretty hot. And the True Blood shapeshifters are not all like you're mine, you know. It's definitely more feminist. So
Well, that's what I was thinking. Maybe like the fact that these guys are part animal kind of rationalizes in the genre head that these guys could be more bossy and more animalistic and dominate women more, because that is one of the things that when I first read it, it didn't really resonate with me as much. But like the fact that he was so trying to domineer her, and the fact that she could ever be okay with that bothered me. But it seems like I read a lot of these things, and it seems like that is a common theme, especially with werewolves.
Why is it such a common theme?
Like an easy plot device, like an easy crutch, you know, as a way to like justify that. You know?
I think with the werewolf thing, and this is just because, and Felicia, jump in because you own a dog too. I think it's the
where is this going?
because the dogs they get possessive. Like my dog's super possessive of me when I walk and she sees another dog. Not when she sees other humans, just other dogs. She gets possessive. And I'm wondering if that's the same kind of idea of like the animal possessiveness. Because if you read the book, anytime a guy comes near her, Lucas gets all weird and like has to kiss her, or touch her neck, or touch her hair to show this is my girl. And guys do that. A lot of possessive, insecure guys, if they do a lot of public displays of affection, that's to show this girl is mine. So it actually has some basis in anthropology, I think. So it's not just a plot device. There are guys that do that, and there are women that do that too. If they're insecure, women...
Yeah, that's true. I've seen a lot of girls. It's like, why are you in his lap?
You'll see that at cocktail parties too. You'll see girls who are really insecure about their boyfriends mingling. They will be all over their boyfriends all the time, and it's just like, what? So maybe that's, I don't know, maybe it's true.
But I think it's a common, even, and Kyle and I read a lot of these, so, but there is and especially in Credley Cole, I mean, that, I'm sorry, I'm going to use the word, it's a little rapey. I'm going to rapey. Because it's super, it's, to me, I don't find it attractive with these guys. Literally, like, there is one author, and it's not, I'm going to think of the name, but Christine Feehan. And like I read this book and I was just astonished by this woman was literally trying to escape from him, but somehow because he had this soul connection to her, he had a right to her, and he just wore her down. And in the end, they were together. I was like, this is the worst, most dysfunctional, horrible book ever. But people, you know, that subgenre is hugely popular in romance novels.
That's romance and all. That's that whole, you know, being tamed. That's that whole taming of the shrew situation where women secretly want to be tamed by powerful men. That's all throughout romance novels.
That doesn't make it.
But why does it keep coming back? Why does it? If it's something that we so often talk about being kind of, you know, offended by in a lot of ways, and like, oh, well, this is weird, this is creepy, but yet authors keep going back to that. Authors keep using that as a trope in these kinds of books
because people like it. Let's be honest, they probably sell really well. So what's, I mean, is this...
Not all books, though, because I read the Grey Walker series and that's supernatural romance, and the main protagonist is a woman who does not like that attitude at all, and she is actually really fiercely independent, and she fights off relationships.
I have a theory.
Guys that flirt with her that she just won't have anything to do with because she's, like, super independent. So there are books that are in this genre of women that are like, I am not doing this whole dominus, taming the shrew type thing. So they're there. It's just you have to look for them.
I have a couple of theories. One of them is that, you know, women like to be pursued, and so the dominance thing can be kind of hot sometimes. Another thing is that, you know, we're so fiercely independent that sometimes in these fantastical kinds of situations, it's nice to mentally kind of give up that side of things and let them take control for a little bit.
Well, that's
I think
true. I mean, you never see a novel where a guy's being courted, because if a girl's going after a guy, he's going to be like, yeah, sure. I mean, that's just, is that biology? It's not like guys need courting as much.
I don't,
right?
Wait, well, I've chased plenty of guys who weren't like, wow, thanks. There's plenty of moments where you're like courting a guy and they're like, yeah, you're weird. They do the sign of the cross, whatever.
I was rewatching Say Anything the other day, and I realized that, like, you know, like rewatching it now after years of therapy, made me realize that is not a healthy relationship she had with John Cusack at all. It is. She replaced her father figure with John Cusack.
And by the way, that movie made stalking like seem romantic. Yeah. I've actually had a guy do the whole boombox thing to me, and it was not.
It was not cool.
It was like a really creepy Sisters of Mercy song that didn't involve love. It was not right, and it was uncomfortable. And he thought, hey, Say Anything is the movie that all chicks like, so I'm gonna do this, and it's gonna be super romantic. Not realizing that some of us think that's kind of stalkery.
I have a lot of comments in the chat about my statement about guys not being courted or wanting to be courted. So I just wanted, for the record, a lot of guys are outraged that I implied that they were easier than women to get. I'm sorry.
We have a good Twitter comment actually from Tara. She says, "Fiction is a way to explore things in a safe environment that we would never want in real life."
That's
true. It's escapism. Everybody see how the cat mask?
Wait, what? What? How did you do that?
It's a new Google Hangout thing.
I'm
you
doing
can
it.
you can
I'm
put
doing it.
you can put a mask
How do I
on.
do
You
it?
can, you see a little dog mask on the top
I
bar?
got it. I've
No.
got the dog mask.
What?
It's the dog mask. It's on the top.
That is awesome.
You can also have devil horns, a halo, and a kitty.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
How do you choose? Or just
You just turn it on and off, and it'll cycle through them.
Okay.
I have a lot of
I
business
like
meetings
little dogs.
through Google Hangout, and all I do
There
is
we
I put the
go.
kitty.
Oh my
down.
God.
I don't like that either.
You guys, I'm really upset.
I'm
What?
totally
It's on the
doing
top
this.
bar. It's next to
No.
Docs.
No, it's
No?
not.
You don't have
No,
it?
I don't have it.
Oh, look,
I have
look, I have a halo.
Oh, an angel.
Veronica, you should have it. It's right there on the top bar.
Woo! Look, I will show you that it is not
If you
on my
go
top
fast
bar.
enough, the halo.
Have you updated your Google Talk plugin? Let me look.
I don't know. Look, it's not on my
Oh,
top
it's not
bar.
there. What?
Oh, yeah, that works. I'm keeping these devil horns for
How do you not have that?
Because Google hates me.
No, Google, please give Veronica a cat face.
Oh.
This is
How do
horrible.
I update it? I'm not going
I
to do
don't
it now
know.
because I'll break
Don't do it now,
everything
but do it
again.
later.
'Cause I'm good at breaking
I'm
everything.
keeping these devil horns.
Yeah, I really like
that they suit you a lot.
Yeah,
I think
I
you
know.
should have a halo, Kyla, because of your highlights.
That's true.
I'll go back.
Yeah,
We're
please do.
angelic.
This isn't fair.
I'm sorry, Veronica. I don't know what to
Stop
say about
using it.
that.
You're making me jealous.
Okay, I'll take
I'm
it off.
done
I'll take
using
it off.
I'm done.
All right.
Okay.
Anyway, oh, by
That's
the
too
way,
much-
about Panthers, you,
Oh, yeah, I did research.
but I want to bring up a comment that was on our Goodreads forum by Doris. How did you feel about the part in the middle where Rena asked a question and Lucas basically bullied her to the
Yeah.
point of dominance, and then Sasha was like, "That's not cool," and he's like, "That's the way it is here." And
Yeah,
I'm
that
like,
was screwed up. That was screwed up. That was like, hey, this is the way we do things in our pack. We, insult the women, but Kit gets to do whatever he wants, but we're just going to go ahead and insult this poor girl.
But did he really have a double standard between Rena, or was he actually treating her like he would treat a guy, which is actually more egalitarian?
No,
so
I don't
wasn't
think he
giving-
ever...
I found it as being more egalitarian actually in this scenario.
I thought so.
Because she's not, she wasn't headed to be pack leader, so she didn't have the same kind of rights that Kit had.
Mhm.
But he definitely had to put her in
But-
the place in the same kind of way that he would treat any other person in his Sentinels or in his group.
What was that whole thing about him telling Dorian he couldn't sleep with her?
Oh.
Because, well, I think it was.
Yeah, what's up with that? He can
It's
sleep
like
with
how you
the
don't
guy?
want people, your coworkers, to sleep together because it makes things messy.
No.
It makes things awkward at the company Christmas party. People
Right.
get drunk, say things they don't need during the
Are we talking
pack
about the
meeting.
book or you?
What? That's never happened to me.
What about the other? A lot of people on the forums were talking about. Basically, there was a big long post on the forum about is this book demeaning to women, and a lot of the other characters were brought up as examples. And Tammy, the cookie making shapeshifter, was brought up as the worst cliche character in
Okay,
existence.
first of all,
Because she's a healer and a cookie maker.
First of all, I do have to say something about this because I'm really glad that there's an author that talked about eating food as sensually and making it seem like sex. Because let's be honest, if you've never had a chocolate chip cookie in your life, and all of a sudden you get a warm, hot chocolate chip cookie, that might be better than Lucas.
Oh, hell yeah, girl!
And I would be like, if I was that character, I'd be like, yeah, sex in your old T-shirt's great, but give me freaking more cookies. That's all I care
Yeah,
about.
let's make that happen right
Give
now.
me that pita pocket with the Mexican food stuffed in it, whatever she was serving up. I'm like,
It was. I remember that. It was a very exotic, like Mexican-inspired appetizer.
Yeah,
Like a chorizo, like an empanada or something.
I reread that passage eating nachos because I was like, I'm going to do this.
I'm hungry now.
Yeah. Me too.
Sounds delicious.
Well, there was a lot of controversy about it. Oh, and then there was also hi Kyla.
Hi, sorry, I was talking about hummus.
You were talking about you were setting your
Hummus
intern
over
up
here.
for hummus.
There's some... Oh, wait, no, because it has a label. Oh, here, just this part. There's
Oh,
hummus.
it's green hummus.
It's white bean and basil.
Oh, that's a fart-alicious combination. White beans, it's legal.
Yeah.
Felicia, only you could say delicious and make that sound sexy.
I don't do that.
Fart-alicious.
Seriously.
Fart-alicious.
The new genre.
Fart-alicious.
Fart-alicious.
I'm now on
trying
the
to figure
whole.
out.
I make my intern fart for me.
That is awesome.
What about Sasha? Let's talk about the main characters because I kind of liked Sasha. She was a little bit weak, but I kind of liked her.
Yeah?
She,
Okay.
she's not that weak. I mean, she's just learning how to feel, man.
Okay, so I'm gonna geek out a little bit here. So when they're talking about the size eyes, Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With the black with the nights, like the sparkly stars.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that actually is? That is
Glaucoma.
No, listen.
Cataracts.
No, I'm trying to tell you something. This is called Star Wars 101. This is Rhodian eyes. This is what Greedo's race looks like.
Oh. Well,
Yeah.
you know, we had a lot of comments actually on Psy, and I collected them because people were reminded of 7 of 9 on Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
Guys never look like that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the Psy Corps of Babylon 5, they were talking about the Psy in general
Oh,
as a race.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
Very Vulcan-like, as many noted as well.
Yes. Very
Vulcan.
Vulcan.
My favorite was the Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time Dreamwalkers.
Oh,
Because
interesting.
Those
Right.
were always my favorite scenes in the Wheel of Time series.
You
and
mean
I
the
was
you mean the people? Oh crap! You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, this people.
Yes.
Yes.
Ladies, what are they called?
Yes, the Dreamwalker. I forget the name of their. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, the tribe ladies with the
Yes.
that made Egwin or whatever her name is run around the
The Aiel. Thank you,
Aiel.
Mudboy.
Oh,
Thank
wow.
you, Mudboy, from the chat.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't think it could be Vulcan because the reason I think Vulcans are super sexy, it's not just because they had me at Ponfar, but it's because they also have this capacity of a massive amount of anger. So it's
That's
like
true.
they're trying
Well,
to
they go through all their rituals in order to kind of...
right.
Yeah.
where-
Vulcans are hot like vampires are hot, and they
Yeah.
they seem very clean and don't
Right.
sweat.
Right. Oh, what is with you and sweat?
And nobody likes that?
I just like things clean.
You're so weird.
No.
I think you would totally love replicants. I think replicants
Yes.
and robots and android sex is right up your alley because they don't sweat at all.
I would like to read a fantasy book, a romance novel with a.
I will
android.
write one for you.
Okay.
I'm not joking. You realize that because
Oh, our
I'm a
sweet little
writer,
germaphobe.
and since the club started, I'm actually writing stuff now. So
Are you?
Yeah.
Listen, I think that could be an untapped, because I've been reading a lot of sci-fi romance to prepare to try to pick a really good book to represent that for the club.
Right.
And there's a lot of it. It's very, very bad. Very bad.
Right.
That's why I like the Psy, because for some reason, I mean, let's just think about this on a theoretical level. You're throwing a sort of science fiction race and a fantasy race together in a believable existence, and somehow I think the author pulls it off, because she does thread a lot of these characters through book 1 to book 10. Like Sasha's mother is actually very prominent as an ongoing character throughout the rest of them. Have anybody
She
written
was
any-
interesting to me because I thought she was kind of bitchy. So I
Totes bitchy.
want to read more about her. Like
Uh,
she actually fulfilled that feminist need in me, where I'm like, oh, there's got to be at least one successful woman who's in charge of stuff, who doesn't
Who has
take
no
crap.
feelings?
But I don't.
She has a secret agenda. It comes out. Kyla, have you read any of the other ones?
No, but she does remind me of my grandmother. I don't know what that means. A very successful businesswoman.
Kay Corbo says Sasha's mother was his favorite character in the book, or her favorite
Interesting.
character.
Oh,
in the book.
interesting. Okay.
So
Yeah, I
yeah,
want to know more about her relationship and her feelings about Sasha. Because sometimes you kind of felt like maybe she was protecting her a little bit, but the other times it's just like maybe there's just nothing there at all.
She must have known that Sasha was flawed from the beginning.
yes,
I mean, seriously, that was never a shock that Sasha was flawed. She must have known, and she let it happen. She could have had her sent to rehabilitation or a medical center or whatever when she was a kid, and she didn't. So she must have known that there was a reason for all of this. So
no,
and
she's
it-
actually one of the most interesting characters in the series. Now that we're talking about it, because she is actually a very consistent thread throughout the rest, where just with wolves and cougars and Psy doing it, and then you've got this sort of mastermind woman and a couple of the other people on the council doing some really interesting plotting. That's why I think this is one of the better series, because the world building does get a lot better. I see Veronica's points in that this book was a little bit underwritten as far as the first book, but definitely it gets even better and better. And the Judd one is the best one. I'm just gonna say that.
wait, did you say this Jedward?
Judd, no,
No.
not Jedward.
Jedward?
Jedward, hey, you know who Jedward is, right, Veronica?
Jedward. I don't.
Oh, let me screen share this. I gotta
Alright.
screen share.
Yeah,
Just a
Google
second.
them, YouTube them, you'll know.
No, I'll show a picture. You guys talk amongst yourself.
They're like the Bieber. They're like Justin Bieber times 2 in England. It's so
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because I secretly am hoping one day a British person will find this entertaining and marry me.
Chat room is not into this idea, whatever it is. They are
You don't
not
want, they don't want you
vibing on
introduced
Jedward.
to Jedward?
No, they're like...
I need a bigger picture.
So while you're looking for Jedward, I just want to say I actually did some research.
Oh, tell us about Panthers. Yes.
About
Oh,
Panthers.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Panthers.
Because Lucas is supposed to be part of a Panther pack. And I want to say they do not mate for life. They do not have one mate for life. And the research I dug up was that the adult males in panthers, like panther packs. Oh, there's Jedward. Oh Lord. Oh my God. Look at the hair. Look at the outfit.
Look at Veronica's face.
If you ever want to see the funniest thing on earth on YouTube, Google NMTB Jedward, and it stands for Never Mind the Buzzcocks, which is a great show in the UK. That's a music trivia show for celebrities, and Noel Fielding's on it from Mighty Boosh, and they just make fun of Jedward relentlessly. So
Awesome.
Do that. But anyway, so the Panther research that I found didn't really jive with this book. Wolves mate. They find one mate for life for sure, and the wolf pack stuff was dead on. But panthers do not. Adult males live by themselves pretty much for most of their adult life. They're only with females, maybe I think for a couple of days during the mating season, and then they're gone. They eat their cubs.
Yeah, someone in the chat room said they will eat other males' cubs. They will kill them.
Yes. So it wasn't quite the same thing.
Is that bad?
Flame.
And then when I did research on horny shapeshifters, there was some interesting
data there.
Well, but if you actually read the book on Vaughn, so just FYI, over the 10 books, every single character that is introduced in one gets a romance. So Vaughn gets one, Dorian gets one, the Judd over at the Psy gets one, Brianna gets one, the girl they rescue is a really good one.
Can I ask a quick question?
She will live to screw another day.
Is there any, in any of these book series, in any of these stories, are there any, gay romances?
No.
Okay.
That is very interesting.
There is statistics that all animals, no matter what kind of species, do have gay versions in their packs. There are.
Very
so why is there no penguin shape-shifting romance novels, for example? Or
I would totally read penguin.
Why is it always the really awesome animals? Why can't it be the more domestic? Why is there no domestic cow shape-shifting or
I'm reading a series right now that has a dolphin shapeshifter, and it has a bunch of different, a dragon and a cheetah.
Well, that's still cool animals. Why are there no naked mole rat shapeshifters?
Veronica, are you trying to tell us you're into udders?
They're so voluptuous.
Are there other romance novels? There's some with that's why we like Gianna Rayborn though so much, because there's gay relationships in that I thought were really believable.
I'm just curious, because I find that a lot of werewolf fiction and werewolf romance, they totally avoid the whole gay thing, whereas vampires, they'll screw everything in existence, and they don't care about that. They don't care about the weird things that people have.
Or they could be lizards. Lizards can be both sexes. That'd be hot.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's because I just socially, because of the way our society is set up, I'm pretty sure that vampires, it's acceptable because vampires are more androgynous.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And they're very in touch with their feminine side.
Or they live so long, they're let's try it all.
Yes. I think they're more like Jack Harkness from Torchwood, and they just actually screw anything with a pulse.
I love him.
Pulses? I don't know.
You don't like him?
I don't know.
I love that character. Why do I like that character?
What, Jack?
He's great.
Yes.
I love Jack Harkness.
He's
John Barrowman is
Wait, I have to say, Tor in the chat room just wrote that I should write a book called The Wonderful World of Lichens by Veronica Belmont. A list of all the shape-shifting animal family factions.
No, I'm not biased with shape-shifting by any means, and quite honestly, I bought that Cthulhu erotica book, just so you guys know.
Tentacle porn.
It's not all tentacle porn.
Ew.
What else would it be with Cthulhu?
Why is it the main
What other kind of sex can they have?
Yeah, it's not. There's not a lot else there. It's like an octopus.
Like little sharp beak-faced kisses?
Like Garrus from Mass Effect.
The minute
Yeah.
I mention
Oh,
tentacles,
I see. Well, you're going back to that, huh, Felicia? You're going to go
Sorry.
attack Garrus
Fight,
again?
fight,
We're
fight,
going to go
fight,
there?
Fight,
so I mentioned tentacles, and you guys say porn, but I mentioned vampires, and it's romance.
It is, because vampires love you because they live so long when they find the one.
Dude,
Tentacles
you have no
don't want to
idea.
be in love with you. Tentacles
Krakens-
just want to get rapey.
Krakens
There's no
can
two ways
make
about it.
life.
Okay. We should take
I
some
learned that
questions.
on the internet.
Let's open up to questions.
Why not Zoidberg? Sorry. Anonymous. And why not Zoidberg?
Why not?
Why can't I have sex? I'm Zoidberg. Let me take off my outer shell.
We talked about this last time, and I will say I do find a white lab coat very sexy. So
Listen, there's nothing hotter than a fireman or a window washer, because overalls.
window washer.
That's creepy.
No, it's a good outfit.
Is that a voyeuristic?
That's totally voyeuristic.
No, look at one.
Think about what you just said.
I'm gonna look up a window.
I'm not ashamed of you. I'm just saying. I'm just pointing it out.
You know how many porn
ashamed of
window
you.
washers?
They do not have an outfit. It's like a jumpsuit.
There's so many porn window
jumpsuits are
washer
hot.
characters. You were set. 'Cause
Okay.
seriously,
Why am I
window-
using this terrible browser? Okay. I don't
By the
know.
way, I do want to bring up, for the more salacious viewers, that there are quite a few porns out there right now that are based on sci-fi shows. Like there's a Star Trek one, a Star Wars one. I think there's a Game of Thrones one in production right now.
Well, should we talk about that 50 Shades of Grey book series?
Yes,
that
we
they're
should,
working
because, so I don't know if you guys, we actually have a really cool, there's a great article on Smart Bitches Trashy Literature. I think that's not
Why is
really,
that not our blog?
Well, they've been around for a long
I'm
time. They
just
have a
joking.
book. They're really hilarious, and it's one of the best, I think, review sites for romance novels. And they had this fantastic article about how condescending the mainstream media coverage of 50 Shades of Grey was, because I had a whole idea of mommy porn and women like secretly reading all this naughty stuff. It was really quite condescending. And basically equating romance novels with porn and erotica, which it really isn't. You know, romance books might have sex in them, but you know, they're I don't know. It's a really cool article. I think we should probably link it in chat for people to see.
Yeah, I'm looking for it.
You know what? I really like that article, and the one thing I thought was interesting is that I think when that article came out, there was an EW article or some other article in mainstream press, maybe it was HuffPost, where it talked about chick historical biographies, because there were a lot of biographies that come out about women or royal family or whatever, and the critics are calling it chick history just because it's about women, and women are more apt to read these books than guys. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, how is it that the 300 books about Abraham Lincoln that aren't Vampire Hunter are considered regular history and not dick history? You know what I mean? So I'm like, why is it, if it's a woman, all of a sudden it has to be deemed chick history and not just history?
Well, it's not like every single commercial that we see on the Super Bowl and in mainstream media. It's completely okay for guys to be just staring at some really sexy girl in a very skimpy bikini. So we're kind of saturated with women being sexual objects all the time in mainstream media, but we don't have, there is some, guy hot body stuff on all the advertising, but like the ratio is much, I would say, weighed toward women, don't you think?
To tell you the truth, mystery novels, if you read any, Ed McBain or Spillane or any of that stuff, there's sex scenes in there. And no one calls that porn.
Mickey Spillane would do a lady.
Yeah, so why are when guys... Oh, I love that pizza.
I want that pizza right now.
Pizza porn. So, I mean... So why is it when guys have, like, mystery novels that have sex scenes in it, it's still considered legitimate literature, but when we have stuff that has sex scenes in it, it's considered chick lit or chick whatever. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't get it at all.
Mm-hmm. Let's take comments. What
kind of pizza is that?
It has arugula and turkey sausage.
I would like that inside of me.
By the way, my squirrel is needing to say hi again.
Yeah, okay, guys, we're going to take some questions from the chat room.
Inside of me as well.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
For those of you who are asking how to get in the chat, you have to go through IRC. You can download an external client, and the address is niven, N-I-V-E-N, .freenode, FREENODE.net, and the room is #vaginalfantasy. But it takes a little bit to set up if you've never done it before, so you can always submit your question over Twitter. Does anybody see anything?
There's a lot of Twitter comments, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Well, we were trending, which is cool.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're pretty great.
There are always so many people who are confused about it because, 2% of people see one tweet ever, and people don't really get that. So,
Yeah, but I mean, between you and Veronica, there's small countries following you both.
That's true.
I have like 32,000 people following me, and I think...
Okay, you could all shut up now. 32,000, only 30,000.
All right, we have a question. So,
okay, good.
Bruce6 asks, what specifically did you dislike about the writing, in parentheses, quality, in this episode's novel?
Okay.
I think one of our commenters on Goodreads put it really well, where she said that it just kind of sounded like the author just went through a thesaurus for certain words to change things up a little bit. It just did not seem very... It's kind of hard to explain how to describe writing when you don't just gel with it. So it's hard for me to kind of put it into words. I'm not a writer, so maybe that's part of my problem. So it's hard to judge this kind of thing. But yeah, it felt a little bit. I don't know.
It felt shallow to me.
A little shallow.
Yeah, like I said, I think the farther along you get in the series, the more deep, the more layered the storytelling gets. So, but I can see your point. I think...
Do any of you guys write? Am I the only one that writes fiction?
I've never written a novel, so I never try. I'm pretty...
I have written for NaNoWriMo, but nothing, like, published
I have
or
too.
anything.
Oh, my God. I have 6 unfinished novels from that freaking NaNoWriMo.
NaNoWriMo!
Oh, boy.
NaNoWriMo's great.
I'm just going to say, as a writer, because I have written stuff in books that publish and things, and writing comics now, because I'm writing comics for Womanthology and trying to get some more, fiction in my life as far as writing. It's not as easy as it looks, and the more I read fiction, the more I realize there is a large gamut of total crap that actually sells really well and ends up on the bestsellers list, and stuff that's really amazing that very few people get to read because it doesn't have a marketing machine behind it. So
that's just like anything, really.
It is. And with this, I didn't find the writing that amateurish. I actually liked it. I got past it. And the sex scenes, I'm going to tell you right now, sex scenes are hard to write.
I don't know how you'd write a sex scene. I would not be able to continue.
Hard to write. I've written sex scenes before where I'm like, oh my God, a 14-year-old would look at me in disgust because I ruined sex for her. So it's harder than it looks. It's not as easy. It's.
I didn't actually have trouble with the sex scenes.
No, I liked the sex scenes. They were fine.
I thought the sex scenes was the best part, actually.
Okay.
Even in writing, I think that was the part where she got her point across.
That was where she shined, really.
She has so many words for throbbing.
No, she has very good. I think that she writes some of the most. Because for me, it goes over the line sometimes, and I get embarrassed. So, for me, she's, the best balance, and she adds a sort of poetry to it. Yeah. And the fact that, when people are getting together in her books, and I think in any book that's a romance novel that you really are invested in a sense, it's really about the relationship and the culmination of a relationship versus just the mechanics of the act, which is not necessarily a very... When you describe it, it's not going to be the best.
The hottest sex scenes are the ones that have the most tension before it
and build up. I think that's why we wanted it so badly with our last book.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's the opposite. And Kyla, you were talking about Eloisa James a while ago.
Her is amazing. It's like a lady orgasm the entire book.
Wow. There goes our 18 flagged rating.
Who is this? I need to write this down. Who is this?
Eloisa James.
Okay.
Yeah. She does more. It's all Regency historical. So I don't know what exactly time period is it? 18th century, Kyla?
Yeah. Isn't it King George? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot of empire wastes, empire wastes. But so a lot of boobs coming out of the corsets and stuff, but also super smart, really well written, and the female characters, they're always the female characters are super smart and rebellious and funny, and they're really great books. And Felicia, that was like my gateway drug to romance novels. That Felicia,
it was one of my first because I read an article on her and it said I think she was either a professor or has like a master's from Harvard or something like that, and she decided
is a poet, right?
Yeah. I mean, she has a really interesting background. I saw an article on her. I was like, oh, that's so interesting. She's writing romance novels. I was like, well, I'm going to do it. Also, because I had a Kindle, and you know, that's part of the whole 50 Shades of Grey talk, is that, you know, people can read things like this and not feel like they have to go into the store to get it, and they can have it delivered to them.
Oh, no, absolutely. I agree with that sentiment 100%.
But Amazon doesn't have like a big bag that says, you know, sexy porn book inside. I mean,
no, but I mean, if you go to a bookstore or if you're traveling and you're reading something, like, yeah, if I was traveling to WonderCon this weekend, I might feel a little bit uncomfortable having Slave to Sensation with me on the airplane. Just a little bit.
Let me tell you a little story about St. Patrick's Day and me. I was at a diner reading a book, and there was a cute Irish boy sitting right next to me, and I was a little nervous talking to him, and he saw what book I was reading. And yes, he freaked out and walked away. But the point of the story is that I have vaginal fantasy pride. I'm just going to say I will read these books with pride. And I think this is kind of like the point of this show, is that people need to come out of the closet as romance readers and not
But people do everything at their own pace. You know, not everyone is going to immediately... They have to start reading them first in order to get to that point. And if they're most comfortable reading them on a Kindle in private or, you know, without having the cover all over the place, that's totally fine. If they get to the point where they're comfortable to do what you did in public, you shame what you did in public reading that book.
What you did.
You're going to make me wear like a red A on my shirt.
Well, you know, on our Goodreads forum, a lot of people are actually asking, can somebody make Kindle and Nook covers with the Vaginal Fantasy logo on them, and then just smut on it? If I had an Etsy store, I would immediately be in business. So if anybody's out there
I know how
to make those for us.
Craft. Maybe we should do a store. I will craft these if they.
Are you going to craft them all by hand?
Why not? I craft anyway I mean, that's what my last book was.
That's what you do, actually. All right, well, we should talk, Bonnie. There's a niche need out there.
I can do this for us. I can make this happen. I am your one-person sweatshop.
Okay, we're gonna talk about it, and hopefully we'll have something.
Okay.
Does anybody else have any questions to take? We've been kind of.
I'm gonna look at Twitter real quick.
Anybody in the chat room have a comment that they would like addressed?
I do love that we're trending, by the way.
How much wine have each of you consumed?
A bottle.
Better.
This much.
We're a lot louder this time. I definitely noticed that.
I'm almost done. Oh, I do want to show one of the wines I got.
Okay.
Because we were talking about wolf packs and stuff. I got this wine with a bear on it.
Ooh, bear.
What did you get, Kyla?
Is it a shapeshifter?
This
That's what I thought.
is our second bottle, but there's two of us, so it means we consumed one bottle.
You have a beautiful flush about you.
You do. You do. She looks hot.
I have my tiny wine.
It's all dressed up fancy and
I do
stuff.
want to do a quick shout out. If any of you have Netflix streaming, and you on Twitter, you know that I'm totally obsessed with this German vampire movie called We Are the Night, and it's on Netflix streaming. And it's pro-feminist in a way because they won't turn guys into vampires, only girls.
Oh.
And but there's also a Mean Girls element to this movie, so I highly recommend it. Unfortunately, the Netflix streaming one has it dubbed instead of in German, which also is weird because it makes it look like all raves in Germany are, you know, run by vampires. But still, it's a good movie. So if you have Netflix streaming, I highly recommend We Are the Night. It's pretty hot and the soundtrack's good.
Okay, cool. Kyla, you're getting a lot of comments in the chat about how good your hair looks. So
Really?
just FYI.
We've been telling her that all night.
Yeah, Tor says it's hot. Sean Blader.
It's hot.
Oh, thank you.
I want wavy hair. My hair's too...
If you live in Portland, Oregon, you should go see Sadie at New Vintage Salon.
Oh, there you go.
Your highlights are the highlights of our evening.
Did anybody get a question, or should we?
These are really direct.
People are talking about how I ate my pizza like an animal. I'm like, was it really that?
Squirrel loves your hair.
I had meatballs from that place, IKEA, for dinner.
What?
You did not.
I had IKEA meatballs and scalloped potatoes.
Why you did not do that?
Why? What's wrong with that?
You were going to regret that later?
It's the second time this week.
You're gonna die. Oh my
Why?
God.
You're going to get clogged up down there.
What are you talking about?
show
What are
the
you
webcam?
talking about?
$1.99 is not.
They're delicious. What are you talking about?
So I just, next time, by the way, I just want to show the webcam I might be using.
Oh.
It's a
You're gonna-
Japanese webcam that looks like R2-D2.
Okay, that's good.
And it's wireless, so it can roam wherever. And it comes with a remote that's a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Where did you get that?
does not look like a
From work.
Yeah, it does not look Perils Gate has a question. Is it hard to talk about books when the author is able to listen to this? Well, you know, that's, I generally am a positive person, but I think that, you know, unless, if we're all going to sit there and only have awesome stuff to say, it doesn't really make the best dialogue. I think, you know, it's cool to have different people's opinions, and, like, when we read the forums, like, I thought this was terribly smutty, and then we had so many comments about, why was this so late, you know, so tame? So we all have different, like, niches and interests, and my hope is that people find authors they'll like, you know, they might not like a book one month and they might love it the next. So that's why we're just introducing them, and it's you guys' decisions whether to pick the book up, whether to read it, and whether you liked it. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
It did make me feel bad because I know she was paying attention to our discussion on Twitter, and I did enjoy reading the book. Like, I thought it was a fun read. I just don't think it was the best book I've ever read.
Yeah. So you know, and then we had.
I actually have to say, as an author, we appreciate any comments. Any feedback's good with us. I'm just talking brash, like just as me.
Yeah.
I don't even care if it's a negative comment. I still learn from that. And
well, her Guild Hunter book. I'm sorry, but it's one of my favorites of the genre.
I'm definitely going to read more. Like, I didn't even know about her until you suggested this book, and now I want to buy every book she's written because I'm intrigued and I want to know what she's doing. So, in essence, it's me, and I'm following her on Twitter. So, in essence, I'm like, you know, I'm excited about this author, and I want to read more stuff, and I want to see her grow as a writer based on each book I read. So I'm pretty excited.
No, it definitely gets. Pegu Finn has a question. Does the romance ever get too cheesy with you in books? And if there is it something specific that makes it cheesy? Oh, Kyla, I'm turning this to you.
Wait, repeat the question. I might have been.
I was so drunk.
Oh my God, there's someone drinking wine in your window. It's
so
like
much wine.
Are you scared? I thought you said there was someone in my window. I got really scared because you were not talking to me, and
It's just Megan.
She of the disembodied arm.
Repeat the question again.
Does the romance in romance novels ever get too cheesy for you? And if so, what are the things that make it cheesy? I think Luke is calling her darling all the time.
Or kitten. Apparently we didn't like that.
That was pretty irritating, and a bunch of people on the forum posted about that.
Yeah, I don't like it when they get too aggressive about telling the girls what they think that the girls want, that they don't know that they want. Then it gets really irritating. I don't know if that's cheesy, but to me it makes me feel the same way, like, ew, get off me, go away. That's how I feel. Just don't.
But it's also, I think, cheesy when, you know, there's a lot of novels, and there was a discussion on the forum as well about this, that this whole idea of destiny and like, if you look across the room and you know that your body is somehow knows that that's your mate across this. So it's basically an inevitability that those guys are going to get together, and it's going to be perfect because there's a genetic matehood in there. So they're meant to be together. So really, at the end of the day, there's no real tension because you know that there's some kind of genetics interfering that they're going to get together and it's going to be great. And also, I don't know. I don't like that.
I don't like that.
How weak was the ending, really?
I know.
It was like, I'm going to die. We're just going to wait until we all die. I'm just going to die. And then it was like, oh, we're not going to die because we're in love and we're a pack. We never expected that to happen.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I think there was missing.
I wanted her to die. I thought it would have been super duper romantic.
It would have been romantic.
Yeah, it would have been romantic.
Or if he died for her, and then she killed herself.
In a Shakespearean kind of way. I mean, if you look at, like, the history of Star Wars, Harrison Ford thought Han Solo should die. when he was carbonated. So, I mean,
Yeah, it's true.
I honestly think it would have been super duper romantic if, and I'm saying super duper doesn't actually make it sound romantic, but she should die and then he should find somebody else. I just kind of felt like it was a cop-out that all of a sudden it's cool.
Like now she learned to love. Now she learned to love, and
I would have been so angry if she died. I'm sorry. I would have been so angry. I would have thrown the book across. No, I couldn't have it.
Okay.
I don't know, but that's the romance thing. It's like they're gonna end up together.
Maybe it's just the goth in me that wanted her to die. I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
What about the whole how Sasha had to kiss the other people in the pack?
That was weird. We talked about it earlier about herpes,
We
but
didn't really
I did not like that.
I'm actually cool with that.
yeah, I thought that was kind of hot.
Really?
A little bit.
I'm cool with that. Like Dorian, I'm imagining Dorian pretty hot.
You
so.
guys need to read Laura Lee then, because honestly, she is
totally.
very into the multiple people in the bedroom thing.
What I don't understand, though, is why was Lucas cool with her kissing other people in the pack, and yet he was all Mr. like dominance?
I'd like to see some Hawk action up in there.
Some what action?
There should have been some Hawk and Lucas action at the same time.
Oh yeah, yes.
Hawk is one of the last books that he finds his love.
You know what?
It's
I think
an unexpected
this
person.
tendency for me wanting to see the double action maybe from Vampire Diaries, just because. I hope you guys are watching, because you need to start watching Vampire Diaries.
I don't
I
watch
do
that
not,
show.
sir. I do not.
You guys, it's like True Blood for teens.
Yeah,
It's like-
I watched the first 3 seasons, but then
Okay.
I stopped watching after a little.
Okay, it's not like real sex, it's like fake teen sex, but it's hot fake teen. I'm so going to be banned for saying fake hot teen sex.
Well, but I don't like
Because
young adult books because I don't read them. I know I'm missing out probably on a lot of good books,
So
but
I'm
they
reading
never
a
have sex
new
scenes
young
in
adult
them.
book. I'm reading a new young adult book.
What is it?
It says, You Are So Undead to Me. And so I'm reading that.
Have any of you read Nice Girls Don't Date Dead Men?
Yes.
No.
That was a pretty
Was it
good one.
good?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Oh, that seems very chicklet for you, Veronica.
Yeah? No, I loved, I read all of the Sookie Stackhouse novels, so I was looking for something fun in that vein when I went to Nice
And what
Girls
did
Don't
you
Date
think
Dead
of
Men.
the Sookie Stackhouse?
I love them. I'm a huge Sookie fan.
Yeah, I did
Of the
too. I can't
books.
watch the show because
I don't watch the show either, but
Yeah.
I loved the books. I thought they were a lot of fun.
Yusuf on Twitter, we got a bunch of questions on Twitter actually. Yusuf has asked, can you have too many sex scenes? Can too many sex scenes ruin a vaginal fantasy novel? Yes.
Yeah.
No.
No,
No.
you can't. That is impossible.
Yeah,
So
no.
maths don't check out on that.
Yeah. What do you
All right.
mean? How is that ruined for you? I don't understand.
No,
If
I
it takes
can't.
away from the plot, if there's no plot tying them together, then
Yes, thank you. Well, there's a
That's
difference
true.
between erotica and a romance novel, and I think that's kind of what was on the Smart Bitches
By
post
the way, I do want to point out that in French, plot means vagina.
What?
What? What?
P-L.
That's
confirmation
not
on that.
true.
Look
I
it
need
up.
French people to weigh in on this.
P-L-O-T-T-E.
That is not how you
playing.
spell the word plot. It is
In
not.
French,
I'm
that's
sorry. That is spurious
French.
at best. They are similar
That's how
sounding words.
Paris spelled it.
No. I read
You
the
hate
comic
freedom,
plot, and
Bonnie.
Dirty plot. You got a dirty, bloody girl. And it's,
All right.
I'm just telling you, if you don't want to learn facts, you don't learn facts.
Holly Ashcombe on Twitter says Dana Marie Bell's Shifter series has gay werewolves, and one book is dedicated to them entirely.
Yeah.
I would like to read that book.
I would actually like to as well.
Yeah, I'd be
I will
into
read
that.
I will read that.
Thank you for your recommendation. And I think it's pretty rare that I've seen stuff like that.
I do wonder, though, because maybe it's just me, but I do have a fascination with gay guy porn novels more than lesbian novels. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't read any
Me neither.
just straight, like, well, not straight. I mean, like specifically like gay porn novels.
Well,
Yeah.
if anybody has a romance novel
There's
that
got to be.
recommend in the vein, we
Many.
definitely could do a monthly talk on that. And I think that's
And the whole, it's interesting because a lot of sci-fi and horror really does explore bisexuality, and we talked about this a little bit earlier. I think more than most genres. I don't know any other genre that really does explore that more than supernatural romance books. So.
Yeah, well, if we find a good candidate, I'm totally open to adding it. Speaking of which, people are asking, because they have to go to bed, what the next book is. So I have picked one out that the ladies are agreeing to. I wanted to do steampunk, and I'm sure you've heard Gail Carriger mentioned many times on the podcast and in other ways. She's kind of like the very go-to person, and her series is great. But I wanted to highlight one that I personally like. I think is a little less well-known, and it has much smuttier scenes. So A+ for the Vaginal Fantasy crowd. So we are going to read The Iron Duke by Meljean Brooks. So it's a really cool book. It has zombies. It has nanobots. It has alt history, and it has a plethora of steampunk. So I think people are going to really like this. There are 2 books in this series out, but they're not, they're standalone as far as characters. So the first book, Iron Duke, is kind of the story of the 2 characters. And the cool thing about it is that it's a very strong male character, but it's also a very strong female character in that she is a detective. It's very interesting. So, oh, good. Yay.
Wait,
look.
was that chest hair? Hold on.
Here is the cover.
I actually do judge a book by its cover. When
It's terrible.
Is it?
Look at that. Look at it.
That is
not.
It's like, I'm
Wait a
steampunk.
minute, he waxes. There's no way that guy's straight.
No, it's a very waxed chest. I don't like the covers of her books as much as I think the insides are good. The clock work on the outside is okay.
I do judge a book by its cover. I'm sorry. I have to say.
Adding to my books.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
So
I will say, Felicia, you had me at zombies, so I'm intrigued.
Yeah. No. It's very interesting. I can't wait to see what you guys think about it. I enjoyed it quite a lot. And yeah, so that's our next week. It'll be the next hangout will be the last Monday of April. I don't know what day that is.
I will pull that up. It's going to be the 30th.
The
April 30th.
April. Ooh, okay, good. So yeah, be there or be square, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah. So I guess we can go now. Unless anybody else are there any further comments?
I was just going to say...
I miss you guys when we're not around.
Be sure to talk to the author of the book we talked to on Twitter. It's her name on Twitter. There's no underscores or weird stuff. It's just her name. Because I think, and I'm just going to say this, authors love to hear comments from people that read their books. And she was very awesome in answering my questions over the weekend about the book, and very accessible. So please talk to her on Twitter. She's awesome. And talk to us on Twitter, too, because we're awesome.
Yeah. Oh, and also, I don't know if you guys know that Veronica has another book club that actually precedes this by years and years called Sword and Laser. It's a fantasy and sci-fi book club. They do awesome selections, and
I'll show it to you.
You need to show it to them. Okay.
And it's on a channel that we all love called Geek and Sundry, right?
My new YouTube channel. We're turning it into a web series here, so... if you guys are interested in more, tome-like books and really awesome sci-fi and fantasy without all the romance stuff, please join in over there. Look at them. They're right there. They're part of our whole lineup.
Okay, first of all, Felicia's being totally modest, but Geek and Sundry is on YouTube and Twitter. You guys should check it out. But they're on YouTube, and it is the coolest thing ever. It's the reason that none of us need to pay for cable TV anymore.
Oh.
Like a zillion shows between her and Nerdist. I swear to God, I don't need cable. And I am super excited to say...
Yes, Kyla works with Nerdist, so yeah, Nerdist has an awesome YouTube channel. We're both launching next Monday, so both of our slates will be up, and you guys can watch at your leisure. And I'm pretty excited about all of our shows. Veronica's show, Sword and Laser, will be on April 13th, the first episode on YouTube. But you can join in on the forums on Goodreads whenever you want.
Yeah, our first book is going to be The Magicians by Lev Grossman, and we're hopefully going to have him on the show as well. And right now we're reading The Lies of Loch Lamora by Scott Lynch, who we are also having on Sword and Laser, the audio version of the show, tomorrow night.
Yay!
Kyla, you look so excited about The Magicians.
I am. Well, that's like my thing, so I'm really excited to read about it. I want to join in a lot. I'm really excited.
Yay!
Yay! All right.
Podcast is now an actual show where I get to see your face.
Her face is good. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for watching, and we will see you next month and on the forums. Goodreads.com.
Bye.
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 Okay, now it's going to be awkward. Okay, I'm ending.